For today is system development life cycle, and this is topic of system analysis and design. The subject code is KMB IT 05. Okay, so today we will discuss about what is system development life cycle and what are various phases of system development life cycle. Okay, so what is system here? System is basically information system, as we have talked earlier about what is information system. So lot many types of information systems are there. Okay, like MIS is there, DSS is there, expert system is there, that ERP is there, and many more types of information systems are there. So we will see in in these phases that how will we deploy those system in our organization. Okay, so if you talk about first phase, that is phase one, planning. What is planning? Basically, to plan how we will pursue that information system, how we will go for information system. Okay, as I have told earlier that information system, developing an information system is totally based on a model that is client and vendor. Okay, or client server generally. Okay, what is vendor? Generally service provider. One would be the service provider. Okay, and that is vendor, and client who is looking for a certain information system. Okay, so phase first. What is phase first? Basically planning. What is planning? Review the project request. Okay, what is project request? There would be a steering committee. What is a steering committee? Member of all the important key persons of an organization. Okay, so generally employees will face some problem, and if they are looking for some problem, so they will approach to their top management regarding deploying some information system in their organization. Okay, so that steering committee will search, will scrutinize those project requests or review those project requests that they have got from their internal employees. Okay, so that is basically review the project request. Okay, next is prioritize project request. Means if certain people have said that we need an MIS, certain people will say that we need ERP, so certain people will say that we need decision support system. Okay, so they will means basically steering committee will prioritize the project request. Means what type of project they generally facilitate or they generally provide to their employees. Okay, to automate their processes, to automate their work related assignments. Okay, so that is basically planning phase. Next is allocate resources. What are the resources? Man, machinery, budget, okay, capital. Okay, so all these are resources. So you will allocate resources. Means what would be your budget to deploy certain information system? You will consult some vendors. Okay, you will look for some vendors in market that are available. Okay, and take their costing part. Means what will they charge to implement a particular type of information system in your organization. So for that you will allocate resources, you will deploy team. Okay, that will facilitate deployment of information system in your organization. That is basically internal team. Okay, internal support system would be there. Okay, so steering committee will appoint some certain internal team, generally including people those are some expert in that field. Okay, and they will allocate resources to them so that information system could easily be implemented in their organization. Okay, next is identify project development team. What is project development team? Basically project development team comprise of many more players. Okay, top level steering committee members are there. Okay, and those middle level managers are there, operational managers are there. Okay, other staffs are there, supporting staffs are there, and customers are also there. Means they will pick some clients, some regular customers of their organization, to ensure that whether they have implemented that information system properly or not. Okay, so that is basically identify the project development team, and after that you will appoint a system analyst. Okay, whether you will deploy it, otherwise your vendor will deploy it. That is system analyst. What is the role of system analyst? That is key person to deploy an information system in your organization, and he or she will look or taking care of all the activities that are necessary to implement information system in your organization. He or she will identify bugs, certain loopholes, check it regularly, identify the issues and sort it out. So all these works are related with that system analyst. All these roles and responsibility are of system analyst. Okay, so that all comes under the phase of planning. So next is phase second, that is analysis. Means you will check, you will conduct preliminary investigation. What is preliminary investigation? Whether this solution is implementable or not. Okay, so for that you will check it by using that firm infrastructure and cost infrastructure, checking whether check it through yourself, otherwise you will deploy some external experts to check it. Okay, generally vendor supports you to get some experts in that field. Okay, so conduct the preliminary investigation with the help of some external experts. You will check firm infrastructure as well as cost infrastructure. What is firm infrastructure? What are the firm infrastructure supports that you have in your organization to facilitate an information system? And what are the cost infrastructure that you have? Means do you have appropriate budget? Do you have appropriate resources to deploy that information system in your organization? So that is basically conduct a preliminary investigation. Okay, so if you want, then it will be conducted by your organization or experts of your organization, or this activity will be facilitated by vendor. Okay, as per your requests. Next is perform the detailed analysis activity. What first is current, study the current system. Means what is your traditional system that you are adopting currently. Okay, and what are the loopholes, why you are going to shift to a particular information system, why you going to adopt a particular information system. All this will come under this point, that is study the current system. Okay, next is determine the user requirement. Means who are your customers and what they want, what personalized experience they want. As you may take here example, nowadays we are using AR, okay, augmented reality, virtual reality. Why we are implementing such system? Just to provide a personalized experience of your product. Okay, just to enhance the personalized experience of your product. So basically you will determine user requirement, what your user wants. Okay, what are your clients, what are your customers requirement. Okay, that you will map, and you would draft a solution or recommend a solution to your vendor to implement in your organization. So these two phases, planning and analysis, the major role would be played by that client, means your organization, in support with vendor. Means your vendor will support you whether in which field you require their support basically. Okay, so that is planning and analysis phase. Next phase is design phase. If you talk about design phase, that is phase number third. So first you will check or acquire hardware and software if necessary. As nowadays you see that a lot many cloud-based hardware networks are there, or software networks are there. So for that you do not require that physical infrastructure in your organization. Okay, so that is basically design phase. So for means what type of hardware and what type of software you require to develop a information system in your organization. Okay, and develop the details of system. What are the details of system? Means what type of data you will put in that information system, and what would be the information, what would be the frequency of that information, what would be the type of that information, who will get that information on real time basis, that you will decide. Okay, in this phase. So that is designing phase. Means how will we implement this information system. Okay, what would be the functional level requirement, what would be the departmental level requirement, like marketing department is entirely different from finance department, and finance department is entirely different from operations department. So you are generally managing all the departments now. So basically you will check, okay, develop the details of your system, means for which department you need what type of data, okay, and what type of information, and what would be the frequency of that information, okay, how will you process that information, how will you get that information on real-time basis. So all these things will be covered in this design phase, okay, and that will be facilitated by your vendor in support with client, means your organization, okay. Next is phase 4, that is implementation. What is implementation? You will develop the programs, means you will code properly, okay. In case of ERP deployment, you need ABAP programming, okay. So that coding part will be taken care by your vendor if necessary, okay. Install and test the new system, that new system that you are going to adopt, that new information system that you are going to adopt, you will check, you will implement it on functional level, and after that you will check that the information system that you have deployed, it working properly or not, okay. So that is basically install and test the new system. Next is train the users. Why you train the users? As a vendor, you can't facilitate in each and every time to your as a vendor, you can't facilitate your client each and every time, okay. So for that you will train some users, some teams, okay, so that the small bugs or small problems they can handle it by themselves, okay. So that's why you will train the users and convert to the new system, means you will implement this new system to the entire organization, okay, before lefting that organization. So if you talk about these two phases, design phase and implementation phase, these phase will be majorly taken by vendor, okay, and in support with the client. Okay, and this is the last phase, that is support. So in support phase, you will conduct the post implementation system review. What is post implementation system review? Means whether the information system that you have deployed is working properly or not, okay. So you will check it. So for this step, both the parties are responsible, means as a client side you will conduct internal review, okay, and as a vendor you will perform external review, okay, to check out some bugs, to check out some problems, to check out certain loopholes, and to rectify it based on time to time, okay, based on your requirements, okay. Next is identify errors and enhancement. What are enhancement? Basically enhancements are what are the further improvements. As I have told earlier that if you talk about earlier practices of ERP, so that was, if you talk about decade before or 1 decade before, so there are the system of intranet enabled ERP module, okay. After that you see that web enabled ERP modules are there, and nowadays you are having web enabled cloud based ERP modules are there, okay. So identify the errors and enhancement, and these two parts are the responsibility of both the parties, client as well as vendor both, okay. They will check the errors and improvement in terms of certain improvement in your information system, means you will check as a client, you will perform internal review, and as a vendor you will conduct and some external review, okay. You will conduct you will means go to some better experts to check your system and recommend some better solutions, okay. So that is basically identify the errors and enhancement. And the last part is monitor system performance, means you will check whether we are working we are now working better or we are working better in terms of previous system, okay. So you will check your system performance, okay. So for that you will use your historic data, okay. You will check your performance, in terms of means like I have told you earlier that for scaling you need to deploy some information system. Okay, so whether you have scaled your operations or not, that you will check. You will check your system performance, you will check the outcome of your information system. Okay, so that is basically monitor the system performance. So this is all about the various phases of system development lifecycle. In next class we will discuss about each and every phase in detail of this topic, system development lifecycle. If you are having any query or doubt regarding this, you may ask. Thank you.